Hey guys, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors, and thanks for tuning in for this week's fishing report. Before we get started with the report, if you guys could do us a huge favor, go down below, click that subscribe button, set the notification bell to all, and every time we post, you'll be notified immediately. So that's one way you can stay tuned for all of the fishing reports and any other videos that we put out. So with that being said, let's dive right into today's fishing report. Today we're going to start up on Lake Winnibigoshish. I talked to Chad from the Pines Resort and Scott from zupsguideservice, and the exact words they use for walleye fishing right now is on fire. They said the best places to look for those walleyes is in 5 to 10 feet of water on those shoreline breaks and those shoreline weed lines. The best ways to get those walleyes right now is still pulling a spinner. They said you need to make sure that you bring both minnows and night crawlers because from day to day, the fish are preferring one over the other. Now, if you do get on some really aggressive fish, you can switch up and troll crankbaits. Crawfish color has been the best, and they're pulling shad wraps. Now, as far as bass, they're catching a ton of bass up in the reeds and on the outside edges of those weed lines. And they're also getting some pike while they're pulling spinners for walleyes and while casting spinners up into the reeds for bass. Now the panfish bite has still been good. They said up in the reeds they're catching some big bluegills. You can get those on a night crawler below a slip bobber or jig and a piece of a night crawler as well. Now the crappies, they're a little bit harder to come by, but they have been picking up some really nice crappies while pulling those spinners for walleyes. So make sure you have some fatheads with, some shiners, and those crappies will eat either of those. Now they said that the muskie fishing has still been really good. They said look for points that have weeds on them. They're targeting that 3 foot to 8 foot of water. They're casting bucktails in top waters, and they're having some really good success on some of them nice muskies up there. Now the perch are still scattered. Hasn't been a lot of people reporting good catches of perch, but those perch should start to school up here soon, and the perch fishing should get better. Now, if you're looking to get a reservation up there for either a cabin or a campsite, go ahead, call right away. He said that stuff is really starting to book up fast because the fishing is amazing right now, and it's going to only get better throughout the end of the summer and into the fall. Now, if you're looking for a guided trip up there, we highly recommend Scott Zupfer from zupsguideservice. He can put you on the fish, whether you want walleye and pike, panfish, whatever it might be. Scott's your guy. Very fun to fish with and very professional. So if you're looking to get up to Lake Winnibigoshish, go ahead and call Chad from the Pines Resort. Alright, now let's move over to Leech Lake. I talked to the guys from Leech Lake Guide Team LLC. They said that the fishing has stayed very consistent except for the muskies. The muskies are really elusive right now. They're still finding a few of them in that shallow structure areas. Agency Bay has been the best area that they've found, but the fish are really elusive right now, so you're going to have to do a lot of moving. Now, as far as walleyes go, they said the walleye bite has been very consistent. They're finding those in that 8 to 16 foot of water. They're trolling spinners, crankbaits, and throwing slip bobbers when they find good schools of those walleyes. Now, the best areas are still those deep weed lines or those main lake breaks. Now, they did tell me that the perch are starting to school up in the shallow weed bays, such as Sucker, Steamboat, and Cabacona. People are picking up some really nice batches of good-sized perch right now. So if you want to chase those perch, try one of those 3 bays, and you'll probably have some success, and you'll pick up walleyes while you're chasing them perch. Now, as far as bluegills and crappies, they're still catching those. They said try those deep weed lines, whether it be with a jig and a minnow for the crappies or a jig and a night crawler for the bluegills. They are still getting some really nice panfish out there. Now, he did say that the bass and pike, they're kind of hanging out together. They've been casting spinners into the wild rice or into the reeds, and they're picking up some really nice bass and some good pike as well. So if you guys are looking for a guided trip up on Leech Lake, go ahead, call Leech Lake Guide Team LLC, talk to Austin. You can book a trip with any of the guides up there, and all of them are a lot of fun to fish with and very professional. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Leech Lake, we highly recommend Horseshoe Bay Lodge. They got a pool, hot tub, sauna, cabins, hotel rooms, full bar and restaurant, whatever you're looking for, they got it. Live bait, a marina, you can pull up, eat dinner on the patio, just a great time overall. So if you're looking to get up to Leech Lake and you want a place to stay, go ahead and call Cam or Courtney from Horseshoe Bay Lodge. All right, moving over to Mille Lacs Lake, I talked to Mark from the Norseman guide service. He told me that the smallmouth bite has started to kind of stable a little bit. It had been kind of hit or miss, but he's been having some decent success now. Now, as far as where to look, he said that the west side has been kind of hit or miss lately because there's been some big bug hatches over there, but the east side has been really consistent. He said the depth to look for is at 15 to 20 feet of water. He said you got to be on rocks or boulders. That's where them smallmouth are hanging out. Lately, the drop shot has been producing a little better than the Ned rig, but that doesn't mean that either of those won't work. Now, he said the most important thing when chasing the smallmouth is pick your day. He said on a really calm, sunny day, those fish do not want to bite. He said he dropped his camera down. He saw tons of them down there, but with it calm and sunny, he's not sure if they were afraid of the boat or what was going on, but those fish did not want to bite on a calm, sunny day. He said if there's a little wind blowing, it's a little overcast, the fish are hungry, and they're biting, and there's some really big ones to be caught. Now, he has picked up a few fish up in shallower in that 5 to 10 feet of water on some rock and boulder. So that will continue to go on as the summer and fall progress. So don't be afraid to check some of them shallow spots as well. Cast a whopper plopper or jig in a plastic, and you probably will find some fish up in that shallow water as well. So if you guys are looking to book a smallmouth guided trip with one of the premier guides out on Mille Lacs Lake, go ahead and give Mark a call from the Norseman Guide Service. Now moving over to Castles Resort on Isle Bay, the walleye fishing has been improving. Those fish are still out deep. They're targeting that 24 to 32 feet of water. The mud flats have been the best, but come evening or early morning, you can get them out on that deep rock structure as well. Now, the best ways that they've found to target those fish are either trolling lead core with crankbaits, pulling Lindy rigs, bottom bouncers, but sometimes when them fish pull up on them deeper rock structures, you can cast a jig. You can also mix in a slip bobber if you get on a good school of fish. You want a spot lock or anchor on them. Put a leech below a slip bobber and you'll pick up quite a few fish that way as well. Now, people still have been catching some perch out there. They're not quite as easy to target right now, but the deep weed lines, they're holding some perch and some decent sized ones as well. Now, pike fishing, they've still been getting pike. They're trolling spinners over cabbage beds, weed beds. Them pike are in those weeds ambushing the perch, and they've been pulling those spinners over the top and having a lot of fun catching some nice pike. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay, they do have cabins up there at Castles Resort. Go ahead, give them a call, get that booked up as soon as possible. Now, they do run a launch as well, which is a really big guided trip. They're running those Thursday through Sunday, 5 to 9 p.m. It's $35 a person. They provide the rod and reel, the bait. There's a bathroom on board the launch, so everything there is good to go. If you want to book a launch, make sure you give them a call, get that set up plenty of time in advance, and you'll have a blast with those guys up on Mille Lacs Lake. So if you're looking for a place to stay up on Mille Lacs Lake, go ahead and call Castles Resort. Now guys, ice fishing, it still seems like a ways off, but all of the resorts are telling me that they're starting to book a lot of trips for ice fishing season. We've already booked a trip for New Year's weekend at Horseshoe Bay Lodge, and we booked the next weekend up at the Pines Resort over the 6th through the 8th. So if you guys want to come hang out those weekends, that's where we'll be, and we look forward to seeing you guys up there. Now, if you guys catch some fish, take some pictures, go ahead, send them to our email at livinmnoutdoors@gmail.com. Now, if you use any of the guides or resorts mentioned in the fishing report, please let them know you saw them on Livin MN Outdoors. Now, guys, hope you get out, have some fun. Remember, be kind at the boat ramp. But most importantly, don't forget to get on out there and get living.